It's a funny thing about island tours and road trips. You never think about your next meal until you're in a remote location and you realize you're hungry. Well, that's precisely what happened to me one Friday afternoon as I was ambling across country. Luckily, I stumbled upon a merry little establishment, all trussed up in our national colors, called Cutter's Deli. And man, was I in for a treat. Almost at the halfway point between the Crane Hotel and the junction that points you to Sandward's Castle is an unassuming spot in which you get so much more than you bargained for. From Bajan pepper sauces to a range of fine Barbadian rums, Tortuga rum cakes and branded Cutter's apparel, and we haven't even gotten to the Cutters or the #1 rum punch, made fresh to order. And speaking of apparel, I ran into what can only be described as a die-hard Cutter's patron.
My name's David Adderley.
David Adderley and his family were on their 10th trip to Barbados, and as he waited for his fish cutter to be prepared, he explained why Cutter's was his #1 spot.
Staying on the south coast, or as I like to say, the best coast of the island. I'm renting a house on the ocean. I stayed down here, I guess it's the 4th time down on the south coast, and I think it's my 9th or 10th time to Barbados in the last 10 years. And I discovered Cutter's about 6 or 7 years ago, I think just a year after it opened. And this was my first purchase at Cutter's, aside from Cutter's sandwich.
I was about to ask, the hat is well worn, the hat tells a story all by itself.
Yeah, this is, as I say to Roger, he serves the South Coast. He's flying the South Coast for I don't know how many years. But
you feel that strongly about Cutter's?
Oh, excellent. And you know, I have my hat and now my 2 daughters and my wife. My wife doesn't wear her hat as proudly, but my 2 daughters do. So back in Canada, where we come from, we wear our Cutter's hat.
Now, while the Adderleys may be veteran Cutter's patrons, I spied in the corner a canoodling couple for whom this was their first holiday together. It was a particularly interesting visit for Rob, who is Jewish.
Today is Good Friday, but it's slightly different for you.
It's also Passover, yes.
Is your mom going to be upset that you're at Cutter's on Passover?
Absolutely not. I actually, before we came away, I asked my mom if it was bad that I was traveling over Passover, and she said, life is too short to worry about things like that. Go have fun.
That's beautiful.
So,
nice mom. Nice mom. Nice couple.
It appears word does get around because a mutual friend of theirs recommended Cutter's to them after a visit a few weeks ago. Now it's clear that Minnie, originally from Sweden, and Rob, who is from Boston in the States, are Cutter's converts. Keeping the whole operation running smoothly is owner and proprietor Roger Goddard, who has come a long way from selling Cutter's out of a container in his backyard. His easygoing yet efficient style sets the tone for the place, which is quirkily decorated with bills of foreign currency, a world atlas here and there, and sketches of early model aircraft.
And we were at the Brighton Farmers Market every Saturday morning for 2 years. So that got our name out, we got our product listing and our customer base up. And once we knew that the concept would work, we went ahead and acquired the land and built the building.
And now we're sitting in a beautifully designed, quite kitschy and mercifully air-conditioned little spot that seems to be one of the best kept secrets of St. Philip.
Some of our customers started out coming from the Crane Hotel, which is across the street. And that speaks to why we put Cutter's here, because there was nothing else in the neighborhood. So we needed a Cutter's here, and so it made sense. And obviously having a full hotel across the street
doesn't hurt.
Was helpful. We want to turn people on to nice Barbadian cuisine. And just lend a comfort level to visitors who are not really comfortable with small economies. They don't really understand how food is produced, how it's packaged. So we make sure that we educate customers as to how we do things.
Well, after a few glasses of that lethal rum punch and a flying fish salad as fresh as the coastal breezes, you can bet that I'll be back at Cutter's Deli the next time I'm across country. I'm Katrina Marshall. See you next time.